everybody. Thank you for always joining Unheard Voices, Ellen Foundation, every second Sunday here at Fox Wave TV. My name is Pam Price. I'm the CEO and the founder of Ellen Foundation, and I am so happy to be here another Sunday to kick off the start to your week. So thank you again for joining the conversation. Feel free to call in. You can reach us at 240-719-2560. Just a reminder, Ellen Foundation, we're about the community, the work that people are doing, who are on the grind, is making sure that people have the resources and understand all of what they need to do to get to where they are. So we provide that. We also give you a voice to kind of talk about what's happening with you, and if you need some help, Ellen Foundation will give you guidance to help you. So this Sunday, I'm loving this show because I got two awesome people who I've worked with for such a while. James is no stranger to Unheard Voices. He usually comes on the radio show, which is every Friday. James Hutchings, he's the CEO of Incarcerated Males and Females. Incarcerated Lives Matter.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining the show.
Thank you. It's a privilege.
Yeah, so James is, I'm going to call it a ministry because that's exactly what it is. His story is phenomenal. I actually started following you on social media, and because of his passion for the work that he's doing, I had to reach out to him. What have we been off and on about a year, almost 2 years now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been that while. So, James, come on, say a few words, introduce yourself. Why don't you tell the family what we're about here? What you doing?
Okay. My name is James Hutchings. My organization is called Helping Incarcerated Males and Females, which I abbreviate as HIMNF. I've been doing my organization since I've been home from prison myself. I've been home for 3 years now. I was released September of 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since I've been home, I've been running my organization, helping out the less fortunate males and females that's incarcerated, and also their families. I provide services for them to go to the prisons to visit them as well.
So, as the family know, I like to do some research and kind of get an idea of what's going on. So, as I was preparing for today's show, and I really went in, because usually I do some stuff, when we're together, but based on a lot of the incidences that have been going on the past couple of years, I really went in to do some research. And the USA beats out most larger countries for incarceration, larger than China, larger than India. So we are the largest. So it's 2.2 million adults, and this is based on 2016 statistics. And of course, as we know, people of color are highly represented behind bars.
Yeah.
So, and out of that, 12% are African American males. So, which concerns me. So, I'm going to ask you to touch on your story for a minute there. So, why don't you share your story on how you ended up point A to where you are now? Because your story is phenomenal.
Okay. Well, I was convicted of 4 counts: conspiracy of money laundering, conspiracy of racketeering, conspiracy of possession with intent to distribute marijuana, and conspiracy of importation of marijuana. They found me guilty on all 4 counts. I went to trial. I was sentenced to 20 years. 16 of those years was suspended in the state of Virginia, so I had to do 4 years prison time and 10 years probation, which I'm on right now, currently for the next until 2025. And basically, I didn't get caught with anything, but they found me guilty on circumstantial evidence. Basically saying I was running one of the biggest rings on the East Coast of the marijuana trade, and this was right before they made the marijuana legal in Washington, D.C., where I'm at. And I served my time, and while I was in prison, I actually saw good guys that was there, and I would see them, and I would, see that they lost like hope because they wasn't getting no income coming from the outside, meaning their parents or their girlfriend or their homies or whoever just wasn't providing any services for them. So that made them, do things inside to survive. Meaning, they got to go to the store box, man. If anybody been incarcerated, you pay 3 to 1. That means you get one item, you pay back the item. You pay back 3 items for one item, things of that nature. Or going to the poker table trying to bet to make their ends meet to survive in prison. So while I was saying that, I told myself, I said, man, when I get home, because I knew I was going to go home eventually, I said, I'm going to start an organization where I can be the voice for the voiceless and give these guys hope and give them money that's incarcerated, the ones I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Put some money on their books to give them a little bit of hope and let them know that they really ain't lose all the resources of people to care for them. So it can change their mindset of how they, react when they do come home. Because a lot of people have a grudge on if they feel like their family left them or their homies or their loved ones or whatever wasn't providing services for them. So they'd come home with that anger and that grudge, and most likely they'd have, do what they got to do when they get home and commit another crime. So I came up with my organization while I was in there. I wrote it out. Once I got released, September 21st of 2015, I just been doing it ever since. I go out and raise money by selling bottled waters, to put money on the people commissary that was incarcerated. Actually, it's $50 a month, which goes a long way when you're in prison.
So your wife was also incarcerated as well.
Yes, my fiance, she was actually under she was my co-conspirator. They gave her 3 charges, conspiracy also, and she had to serve 9 months with our youngest son in her stomach. She was 6 months pregnant when we got arrested, and she had to serve 9 months, and then they released her for like 3 of the months for her to do.
To have the baby.
To have the baby and stuff outside. And then she had to come back and do her remaining 6 months. So, she's been by my side ever since. God blessed her for that she's no longer on probation or anything. And, she's my rock. She's been there for me since day one. We had to go through the situation where we had 4 kids together. And our kids had to go live with their aunt while we both was incarcerated. And I got 2 of our kids here now with me now on set. And it just made our family stronger, for real. At the end of the day, prison is, set up to break families, away from
That's
each other.
how they have it set up, right?
Yeah, it's definitely set up like that. But we were strong, prayers and, just getting it together, transition. I'm still transitioning. I've been home 3 years now, and I'm still transitioning to becoming who I am now, as we speak.
And it was hard for you to find work when you came out.
Oh yeah, I haven't had a job since I've been home. I've been home 3 years now. September 21st is my 3-year anniversary. Most of the statistics say that we be back within a year once we get released, especially on the probation that we're on and things of that nature. But I haven't had a drink in 7 years. I don't, use any drugs. I ain't used any drugs in 18 years. And I haven't drunk any alcohol in 7 years. So, I've been on the right path. My PO, I just came from her in Atlanta, Georgia, letting her know what I'm out here doing. She's with what I'm doing, but she's like, you still need to get a job. I'm like, well, it is a job of what I'm doing. I'm raising money. I'm doing things, to help out the community. You know what I'm saying? It's not about me just going to try to clock in a 9 to 5, because I'm an entrepreneur. Before I was incarcerated, I had 3 businesses, and that's just what I know. I know how to do entrepreneurship, so it's like, that's what I am. So,
in previous conversations, you shared how, these family members that don't have transportation, I know I don't know if you have the bus up and running yet.
Yeah, the transmission's still out.
It's still out. But you take them in your car. You take them on your own out to meet their family because of the importance of having that family unit.
Yes, that's something I call transportation for visitation. Transportation for visitation is where I take families to the prisons for free with no charge. You know, we do it for a 5-hour radius from the D.C. area. So I go as far as West Virginia. I just went to West Virginia about 2-3 weeks ago, and took one family to see her son, and his girlfriend was there, and his little brother and little sister, because I know the importance of that. Basically, you know, getting a visit is almost like uplifting to get through your time. You know, when you in there, because I've been there, and you know, I just feel like that was important for me to do, because a lot of organizations now, they take advantage of the incarcerated families. They'll charge them like $50 a seat or something to ride them to prison.
How long is the visitation?
3 to 4 hours. It depends. If you're out of state, you get like an extra 2 hours. But usually each visit is like an hour if you're local. But if you're coming from out of town, like I take most of the families I just took to West Virginia, that was a 5.5 hour drive up there, and 5.5 hour drive back. So while the families are in there visiting, I'm outside waiting in the parking lot, tell them take the most time that they want. You know what I'm saying? I get myself together so I can get prepared to drive them straight back. And
this is all out of your own pocket?
Yeah, I have no government funding. I'm not looking forward to any of that. However, though, that probably would be something nice in the future. But, you know, everything that I do now is from the heart. You know, it's all God's plan. That's how I look at everything. And that's just what it is.
Now, when they come out, you working with different organizations to help them transition back into society. What are some of the organizations that you're working with, and what are some of the things that you know, you're doing to help them transition and become safe and not go back home, not go back to prison at home?
Well, what I do, first of all, I tell them my story. You know, tell them how hard it is. You know, tell them about all of the what you want to call it, what's the word for when you going, like, you're gonna go through it, you know, things are gonna be calling for you to do. Like you might want to go back to hustling and all that stuff. It's gonna come your way.
You want to go back to the old life.
I didn't since I've been home in these 3 years, 2 of my close friends been on federal indictments, you know, so I had to let my PO know that I was contacting those guys through phone and stuff once they got on their federal indictments, so I wouldn't be accused of that, because like I say, I'm a real guy. Most of my guys, they still in the streets, man, and that's just what it is. And I'm not gonna just befriend them just because they still in the streets. So, you know, I try to tell the guys that come home, though, you still gotta, you know, kind of stay away from that, though, because that could trick you up, trick your time, but that could be a violation of your probation as well. Because they say you can't be around any type of drug activity or any type of people that's doing criminal activity. So I try to tell those guys that come home that as well. And then also, I send them to my mentor. Her name is Miss Owens. She runs the halfway house in D.C.
Okay.
And what she does, she provides them jobs, guarantee a job when they come home. If she don't get them a job, she gives them into a program called Project Empowerment, where they get paid by learning a skill. So they get paid, I think, like $9 an hour, you know, just to get them on their feet, and then they eventually get a job once they learn the skill that they, you know, the trade that they're giving them. So I recommend to her. Her rating is 100%. She give them a job, as long as they with it, she go get them right, and she deals with all that.
So you learned, let me remember, your trade, or what you learned when you were incarcerated was, what was it?
Affordable living.
Yes. Yeah. Clipping food stamp, clipping coupons,
yeah,
right?
Coupons.
Right.
You know,
right.
I'm the one that.
But some people love to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's time consuming. Sometimes be like, oh, and I'll rip it out and I'll put it there, and then next thing I know, I'll be like, oh yeah, the date's passed, and it's just like a big pile of receipts and stuff like that. But I know that is something in which you teach them, and not only those that have come home, but others, because I know when we were on the other show, we had this full-on conversation about the importance of understanding, you know, our problem is, and I say our, people of color, is that we like to live outside of our means.
Yeah.
You know, and if we don't understand the foundation of money and have a good understanding of how to save, how to put away, like we don't have to be driving around in like the high-end car. brand new off the lot. I mean, you can go get it used or go invest in something for a right now. You have to meet your needs where you are right now. And that's the important piece. But I love when you were talking about that. I'm sitting there, I'm like, I went home, I'm going to tell the truth. I went home and I was like, okay, if this man can clip these coupons and be diligent about it, I'm going to do it. That lasted all of 2 days. I can't do it. It's like I had all these newspapers all over the place. And I'm like, how in the world does this guy do this, you know?
Yeah.
And but people love to do it. I have friends that have, you know, they'll do it on Facebook where they have like all this food and commodities like lined up, and they only spent like $1.50 based on using the coupons.
Yeah, I got some on me now. I got some. That's why I was going in my pocket. I got some extra bucks on me now with CVS. Was it $9?
Yeah.
Hey, $2 off my body wash. Then I got $9 extra bucks rewards.
I love that.
When I leave here,
you gonna go on the CVS? Yeah.
My household, my fiance, she look at me all the time. Be like, I'm gonna take care of all the groceries and all the, you know, budget around here, because at the end of the day, I know how to budget out, because it was somebody that came to the facility I was at, and I actually got a certificate in it. I paid attention, and she taught us how to budget our living. You know,
see, and that's important, though. You know, that is so important on how to manage your finances. I mean, we're all not perfect. You know, sometimes we get that. You know what? I really want to go shopping. I don't want to eat in anymore. I want Chipotle down the street. I get it. Yeah. But when you're doing it so often, to the point, everybody's got issues. You know, sometimes some things happen which cause people to be in situations, but we got to be smart. So I like that. You got to teach me how to do that, because I know you do. You know, I got to remember how to save. And you know, I had a friend that she had a little pocketbook or something where it had like inserts of all the coupons and the stores, and I'm like, that is so tedious, but it works. It works.
Oh yeah.
And there was another certificate you had gotten. Wasn't there one more?
No, affordable living, and then also I got my GED. You know, while I was in there. I think that's it. I think it was affordable living and GED. I couldn't do barbering school because, you know, I had they had extradited me, because my charges also was in Arizona, the state of Arizona.
Okay,
so I couldn't spend all my prison time in Virginia. I had to go spend 9 months of my prison time in Arizona. You know, so but that was part of my indictment or whatever. But yeah, I got my GED and my certificate in affordable living, and him enough. That's the main thing.
I know you doing your thing, and I am so I am so honored, humbled that we have such a good partnership, and that the work that you're doing is about the community and keeping families together. So I continue to applaud you.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to do it this way, right?
Yes. Yes.
For the work that you do, because it's about the family, and we got to keep the family together. What else you got coming up? You know, I know you got some stuff coming up.
Yeah. Basically now I'm working on endorsements with some guys that's, you know, local in the city. You know, also we working on some models for a calendar for the incarcerated. You know, that got good clothes on though, not none that has nothing on. You know what I'm saying? You know, so they can see the incarcerated lives matter with women that has real clothes on though, not all that other stuff.
Okay.
And then also, you know, we working on the Incarcerated Lives Matter tour, which one I'm gonna try to bring some of the national artists out here that's been incarcerated before, to show everybody you got a second chance in life. You know, you got a lot of rap artists, a lot of actors, things of that nature.
And you did the men's conference. What was it, during the summer?
The 10,000 Black Men
Right,
March.
right.
That was something I was affiliated with Dr. Cornell West.
Right, with
That's
Cornell
who I was
West.
actually on the panel with. And Mr. Malik Shabazz. And we did that down at the mall. That was, I believe, April 21st in 2018.
Right.
Yeah, the week after my birthday. And that was a good look, but it wasn't too many of us black men there like it's supposed to be. That's the thing. That's why I'm trying to like put like the culture of, rap and go-go music and things of that nature to make it fun to what we doing to show the purpose.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? To
right.
get more people attention.
Right.
Because it's like they pay attention to things like that. You know what I'm saying? Then we can slip in and
It's
our
like,
message to them.
Right. The subliminal messaging because you have to appeal to the community to make them listen to what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Because if they're hungry, if you're not feeding them, they're not going to hear what you got to say.
Exactly.
So you have to meet them where they are. So that's important. And you and I are going to work on the men's conference in 2019. So I'm really excited about that. How can people get in touch with you?
Basically, I'm on Instagram, Incarcerated Lives Matter, ENT, and then also him and F at, what is it? Him and F Lives Matter. That's what it is. Him and F Lives Matter. That's the more political side of my Instagram. And then also, I say it with all my heads high. My name, James Hutchings, because I ain't on nobody paperwork or nothing, so I speak my name real clearly.
That's right.
My Facebook is James Hutchings, my full name. And, you can find me on Facebook with that. And then if you want to Google me to make sure I ain't telling nobody, you can do that as well. So, I make sure I speak on that very highly because, I take pride into that.
Right.
Especially for the charges that I had and the things that they was asking me for to send me home. But, was it prison before dishonor? That was one of my other mobiles as well, too, man. Once you get yourself in some trouble, man, you just got to take it, do your time, come home, and do what they ask you to do.
Give me your phone number if they need to reach you.
My business line, 301-276-5200. That's also the number. And if you have anybody that's locked up, I put money on their books. Remember, I put $50 a month on their books for a 6-month period. Long as they're less fortunate. That's meaning they cannot have over $600 coming in annually from an outside source. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely put the money on the books, send it through JPay, or I go to the Walmart, whatever way that they receive it at the facility they at. And then also, I provide services for free to all prisons. That's a 5-hour radius from the Washington, D.C. area. And you just got to give me a 2-week notice on that, though. When you call me, you got to give me a 2-week notice when you're preparing yourself for your visit. So, because I got other people that put their 2-week notices in, so I got to make sure that I can fit you in the schedule. And, you would think my phone would be ringing off the hook, but it doesn't.
Are you serious?
I try to do I had a go-go series.
Right, I remember you were doing that.
I did that from December to May. I had weekly go-go's going on that was called Incarcerated Lives Matter Winning Weekend, and at a club. And I put it out there all the time. I put my apparel, my logo. Then I got Incarcerated Lives Matter on the back. That's the movement. And I put all my stuff on H&I. Like I said, I try to stay with the culture.
Yeah, and we try, and Ellen Foundation tries to push your information out there as well, too.
Yeah, I would believe that my phone will be ringing off the hook, and that's the problem. I need my phone to ring more. So if y'all hear me, and y'all got people that's incarcerated, if you don't want to give them nothing, I give them stuff. I go out there, sell bottled waters with my kids and all that. Well, it's cold now, so we'll be throwing parties and events and giving some of the proceeds that we make off them parties and events to make sure that we can finance the incarcerated because that's what we do.
Can I bring your babies on air?
Yeah.
You don't want to come?
Yeah, they acting shy.
You acting shy?
Jacob and Janiyah. Janiyah is actually my business partner.
She travels with you a lot.
Yeah, she do.
They're beautiful. I applaud you, King, on the work that you do. I
appreciate it, ma'am. I appreciate it.
I love you. The work, every time I call you for the need, when we're working with people, you are right there. And that says a lot about, because sometimes, we'll call someone, Ellen Foundation will call someone, they're like, yeah, we'll help, and then they're gone. It's like, well, I have somebody in need, I have someone, and you have the piece that we need to help these people. Sometimes they're, so I applaud you because I know you're on that grind all the time, and the work that you're doing in the community and keeping your babies and keeping your families together, I love it. I love it. So, you my guy, I'm going to give you some love
Thank
here.
you, Ms. Price.
All right.
Always.
Definitely. So
Always
I'm
a
looking
pleasure.
forward to our men's conference, definitely in 2019. So, family, we're going to take a quick break. And on the next half, I want you to stay and listen to this sister because she got a story.
Yes.
And I love what she's doing. And actually, I'm feeling a little intimidated because she's an actual reporter. So so I'm shaking a little bit. So give us a few minutes. We're gonna bring on Ms. Nigeria Anderson from Urban Buzz magazine. I love this sister. She's a great queen. I want you two to get together on some work. So we'll be back in a few.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Unheard Voices, second Sunday. Again, please join the conversation. You can call in 240-719-2560. As I mentioned before the break, I'm like really nervous because I'm the interviewee interviewing the interviewer. So I met this queen about a year ago because I went on your site to see when we first met. And she did an interview on Ellen Foundation and the Aspiration House and the work that we're doing with survivors of domestic violence. And as we know, October is Domestic Violence Month, Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I always say that even though it's really recognized in 1 month out of the year, the conversation is year-round, so continue to keep that conversation going. So my queen here is, she's my girl. I love her. She pulls me off the rafters when I'm having a day, and it never fails. Like when I'm going through that day, it's like I get a call, and I'm like, thank you, Lord, for having her call me. So she's my girl. and I expect the journalism that she does. Again, it's my queen sitting next to me is Ms. Nigeria Anderson, CEO of Urban Buzz magazine, and it says we're Key Players Speak, WKPS. Yeah, I love it. And where it supports the gifts and the talents of the artists and the people that you work. So she's got a BA from City College. I did my homework. See, I was ready. I'm like, I'm going to be ready for her. And you've worked with Fox, Turner, HBO, and Volunteers of America. And her radio station, and actually when I travel home to visit my family, I tune it in. It's a 24-hour internet radio where it continues to bring, some really encouraging words. And you get to see the interviews that you've done. So you interviewed Leon.
Yes.
Mr. David Ruffin, Dr. Danielle Spencer, Diane Anderson, James J.B. Brown.
Right.
Mr. NFL.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get tickets.
Hint, hint.
Right.
And, Jacqueline Carr.
Yes.
Yeah, so love that. And then we have a mutual friend, Mr. Damien Escobar.
Yes.
Out of New York. So your work where you bring in the voice of out to the community. So welcome to my show.
I'm honored.
I am so honored to have you here. So welcome.
Thank you.
I don't know if I covered too much, so I'm going to let you speak a little bit.
Yeah, well, I started the Urban Buzz magazine because I wanted to do that, give people a voice, and that's why the tagline is where key players speak. In entertainment, I found that there was a lot of misrepresentation, especially among African American artists. Mm-hmm. And although it says Urban Buzz magazine, urban is just a term of everyone inclusive, because you have Asians in urban communities,
right,
and Caucasians in urban communities.
That's right.
So urban is just a term; it doesn't strictly mean African American. And sometimes I would get that, but due to the work that I've done, it's definitely expressed across the board. One of the things that I love is when I say where key players speak, is that they don't have to feel politically correct. They can honestly just say what they want to say. Being the founder and the owner, I'm not going to get fired.
Right.
And because I started the magazine, which was secular, but then I branched off and launched WKPS Radio online gospel radio show. Then I gave the gospel community a voice where they can say Jesus and the Holy Ghost and everybody is well with it. I don't have to say, you can't say the Lord's name, So when that happened, it shocked me that so many people started calling and wanting to be interviewed. And I was like, wow, look on me,
Right.
But I realized people need a voice, just like your platform.
Yeah.
People have things to say, and they want to feel free saying it. And so it's just been a blessing, to do secular and gospel. And I've had people ask me, well, how are you doing a Christian radio station and a secular magazine? And I just simply say, how do you go to work every day if you're a Christian?
Right.
Because at your job, you don't know who's saved and who's not saved.
Right.
So, I'm kind of like the Christian that just loves God, and, I just believe everything he said. I done messed around and read the Bible. I done messed around and read it several times, and I'm convinced. So, I have a voice, and, just giving that platform just makes me happy. And I love when key players, they wear the shirts, they post it on social media, or they're giving me love, and it's just like, wow, So
I love it. And I live vicariously through, because you were just in Canada, and I'm like, wow, where is she at this time? And you posted all these pictures, Niagara Falls, you were, right?
Yes.
And I was like, wow, look at that. Oh, I got to put that on my list. I got to go there too,
Yeah.
But, I always firmly believe that every interaction has a purpose. There's a purpose, there's a reason. And when you and I first did that interview, because we were getting ready to do some work with Sheila E. That year, and just in the conversation, it was, we both crying on the phone. We were, you know, because we're passionate about what we're doing in the community, and like where yours is, where key players speak. You know, here Ellen Foundation's Unheard Voices, and it's the same thing, you know, because we're both giving a platform to people who have a lot to say but don't know where to go.
Exactly.
And what I like you, is like, we can say that. Y'all not gonna, nobody can tell me I can't say what I'm gonna say, you know, because they do that little disclaimer anyway. So, but I applaud you for the work. And, you know, and your magazine is really, and I've looked at your updated site too, and it's really just popping. So I really, really follow the system and the work that she's doing. So, you know, if you don't mind, I want to touch back on to your story, because
on how we connected.
On how we connected, and you know, everybody's got a story.
That's right. I have several stories.
I do too. You know, you know, depending on where we are, I'll give that story. But you know, because of Domestic Violence Month, I just want to touch on your story and how, you know, it even fueled what you're doing right now. So, which is great. So, if you don't mind, however, you know, you're led to share your story, definitely, you know, because people need to know and understand that there's always a way of escape.
Right. Well, how we met, I was explaining to her a situation I found myself in with a gentleman who I was dating at the time. And he was over jealous, and you kind of know it, but you kind of ignore the signs. And I just remember one time I just was like, something's wrong. But we kept dating, you know, and he went upstairs, and that's when beepers were out. And my beeper went off, so I went to go use the phone on the corner, right? They had telephones.
No laughing.
Didn't have the cell phone. And I guess he must have came out, didn't see me, and just tripped. And then when I came back around, he was irate, like, what was so important? Why did I leave? Not that maybe I was looking for a parking spot, you know, but he drugged me out the car. He lived on the 3rd floor. We fighting all the way up to the 3rd floor. I'm thinking, okay, well, his family is up there. He's going to help, you know, I get some help. And I get up there, and, I mean, we just going at it. Now, my dad's a boxer, so he wanted a boy, but I'm a girl, but he taught me how to fight. And I just say that just to say I had to really defend myself. And as a woman, you just can't beat a man, but you can try to get him off of you.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely.
And so when we went upstairs, his brother came out the room, looked at the situation, went in his room, and closed the door like nothing was happening. His grandmother was in there, but she couldn't walk. She was in a wheelchair, and I thank God for her for calling the police, because I feel like had she not called the police, I wouldn't be sitting here today. So he grabbed me, had me in this bear hug, and was like, I'm going to throw you out the window. So as I'm fighting with him, I see the 3rd floor, I see the window wide open, and in the back it's an alley. So no one's going to see me I'm just going to be in this back alley. And, I mean, you talk about flight and fight. I was like, I am not going out that window. So as he had my arms, and I'm struggling to get loose, as we were going towards the window, there was a pot, and all the women know how to swing a pot. So if you don't know, practice.
Yes,
okay?
right.
So I tell you, it was God by all means, how this arm just saw the pot, grabbed the pot, and just boom, and I got loose. By that time, the cops were there. And, you know, I was shook. I just was like, he really was going to throw me out the window. And that was devastating. You know, I was just like, I thank God for my family, because my dad was like, if anything ever happened to you, feel free to tell me. So when I got home, I was like, Daddy, he tried to kill me. You know, so my brother, my father, you know, I have protection,
yeah.
But then I was nervous because I don't want them to go to jail. So we have to be careful when we find ourselves in these predicaments because, an overzealous father, an overzealous brother will come to your honor, but then where are they going to end up?
Right. Right.
So the best thing I could say is we have Google now, so Google and get some help immediately, because the longer you stay in it, the worse it gets and the traumatic the situation can be. And I thank God I survived, but I do personally know some women who have not.
Yeah. So, and I shared my story with Ellen Foundation. Our domestic violence piece came because I was not able to help my best friend. Wherever she is, I have no idea. And because I wasn't able to help her and to watch her go through that, the choice was protect my family or to protect her. And we were friends. I mean, she's my son's godmother. So it tells you how long back. So, and it's devastating. And you never really truly get over that. You become more sensitive to other people's story. And, and right now, what I looked up, it says nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner.
Wow.
And in the United States. So that equals what it says 10 million women and men in 1 year have been reported. The stats from last year have changed where more men are reporting it, which thank goodness, because with so many different types of relationship, people become afraid to report what's happening. So last year, the statistic was 1 out of every 4 women and 1 out of every 7 male. Right now, it's 1 out of every 3 women, and for men, it's 1 out of every 4. So we got to keep talking about it.
Yeah, and you have to have a confidant. You have to be able to tell somebody. You cannot be afraid to tell someone. They may not be able to help, like you said. You were worried about your family or, your safety, because that's an issue too.
Yeah.
You try to get involved and then they knocking on your door.
Right. You're like, I don't know where she is,
right.
So it puts you in a situation.
Right. It can put you in a situation, but like I was saying, there are organizations like L&M Foundation who can help, and you have to reach out. You have to reach out, and that's the thing. Stop being afraid. And it is a fearful thing. It does put you. You are afraid, because even when I was going home, I was just like, now I have to tell my family.
Yeah.
And I just thank God that I had that availability to just be able to tell them what happened, And for all women, just find someone and don't be afraid. You have to speak up. Unheard voices,
right.
Where key players speak.
Yeah.
You have to be loud about it. And nowadays, you'll get the help. You should get the help that you need, especially after the whole OJ thing.
Yeah, right. Because that's where it really became very
public.
Prominent.
Yeah.
Where people were like, wow, how could he have done this? I mean, so you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. But my suggestion is know the signs. Get some help. And definitely do not be afraid. I mean, I know we got a lot of stuff going on with the police and everything, but you cannot be afraid to dial 911.
That's right.
Because they're there to help with what's, to get you to your safety.
And there's so many movements, the Me Too movement, Black Lives Matter. There's so much going on now to help that you should be able to just speak out about it.
Yeah.
And not be afraid. And not be gripped by fear. Don't fear. I mean,
that's what the word says.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Don't
be afraid.
Don't fear.
And we have to walk in our truths to get whole. Because
that's it.
For me, because I was not actually in the domestic violence situation, I was second removed, so it did affect me as well, where I had to walk in the truth. I had to walk into, wow, did I play a part in this? And it just plays with your mind, you know, like, what did I do? And I could have helped. And so I'm going through all the signs,
Right.
you know, like, it was me, I could have done this, me, right. Whereas since it isn't you, you know, you just got to be walking your truth to become healthy and become whole. And I'm so glad that you did, because you're sitting here with me.
Yeah, amen. But I like what you said, walking your truth. You made a mistake. You thought the person was one way, and people change on you. And that's just life.
Right.
You know, people change, things change, and maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't see it. But don't be afraid. You're not your mistake. If you chose
like
an individual and, you know, they turned out to be who you didn't want them to be, it's the same thing as getting married and getting a divorce. You know, you say to yourself, I've had enough.
Enough's enough.
Enough is enough.
Yeah,
and you
enough's
get yourself removed from that situation.
I appreciate you sharing your story, but now we're going to bounce back. I'm sorry, I kind of wanted to get your story in there before we went really more into Urban Buzz magazine. Yeah. So I know you're doing so much and you're growing it.
Yes.
So talk about that some more on all the different pieces that you are adding to Urban Buzz, and you're traveling and all that other great stuff there.
Well, I've been doing this since 1999. We're coming up on 20 years. I'm super excited. I think I'm going to have a big party, so all of you guys can come.
Ooh.
Visit urbanbuzzmag.com. Email me and say you want to come.
I'm coming.
Yeah. You know, all are welcome.
All welcome.
And it's been a real journey, being an entrepreneur, being your own boss, making sure that everything is correct and right. And I always say, just because someone's a celebrity, I'm not chasing them down to interview them, because I've been in this long enough to see the one-hit wonders. They're here today, gone tomorrow. So that's why we say we're key players speak, because I kind of follow you and, you know, see that this is your passion. Because as you mentioned, we're passionate about what we do. And so it's not so much about how much you sell or, you know, if you're famous or not. It's just the quality of your gift. And that's what the Lord told me to do, and that's what I do. I kind of just want to talk about the gift that you have and to give you that platform and that outlet. You know, I heard Madonna say one time, all publicity is good publicity. So you could think that, well, this is not, I haven't heard of the urbanbuzzmag.com, but all publicity is good publicity.
Right.
And if you do your homework on smaller outlets who are more hungry, who will definitely promote you more and give you
get the word out.
Yeah, get the word out and give you the platform that you need, you'll see the benefits from it. You will see the benefits from it. And what I love about what I do is I kind of, like you said, I travel, and with open mics, I've found a lot of talent that I've interviewed, and they later became Grammy nominees, Grammy winners, Oscar winners. And I'm not going to say names because I just don't like to do that. But I've been proud of that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I had them here first, you know.
Yeah.
But it's just a fun feeling. I love hearing stories. I wish I was a better storyteller, so I just borrow from their stories sometimes. Like, that was good. You know, that was nice. And I cannot sing, so I love interviewing singers, and then off camera, off set, have them do that riff, do that. Let me see if we can really do it.
And you get them to do it.
Yeah. Well, on the interview, on the radio show, if you go to LaShawn Pace, she sings, Now I Know I've Been Changed. And right in the middle of the interview, I'm like, can you just do that for me? And she does it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, yes, you know, and then it's like, okay, wait, we're taping, we gotta do it. But I love it too, because it's just freedom. It's just freedom. It's a conversation just like we're having.
Yeah.
And you are welcomed into that conversation, and that's what makes it great.
So your magazine, it's posted, what, once a week? Or is it monthly? I'm trying to remember.
No, we don't print anymore. We're
Okay.
online at urbanbuzzmag.com. The radio station is on urbanbuzzmag.com. Everything is on urbanbuzzmag.com. I have an affiliate brother station, WRN Praise, which when you're on the radio page, you can click and
I saw that.
Yeah, click and tune into them as well. And that's what I'm talking about. When you just connect with people and how God will make room for your gift. And it's just great. I'm excited about that new radio station because it expands me out to Philly and Delaware. And so although we're online, you know, my cousin called and was like, I think I hear your show on the radio. And I'm like, where are you at? And she's like, I'm in Delaware. And I was like, yeah, you hear it.
Yeah.
So it's just great, you know, and just having that flexibility and freedom to just be acknowledged. And when people appreciate, like, I'm thankful to be here on your show. When people look at your work and appreciate and see you work hard and see that it's of quality, then it'll make room for you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have no junk. I'm not pretentious. It's just I love what I do, and so
She's a good listener. She really is. I like I said. She'll pull you off the rafters, you know, just call her and be like, I heard you. I saw you on Pam's show. Can I talk to you?
No, don't call me. No.
But she, you know, I love this lady. She's very, like, the way you see her, that's who you are.
Right.
And they can't call you?
No. Now you could call me if you're an artist, if you're a gospel
but not
artist.
to be like, pull you off.
Right. 911. But you can call 914-222-3342 to be interviewed. But
Yeah. What else you got going on?
now I'm working on film projects, and so hopefully you'll see that on the media page. The website, I have accounted each page for all my passions. So
That's excellent.
So now that we have the radio and the affiliation, and that's doing well, I have a media page on there where if you go, you'll see some of the film projects. But I have some web series projects in my back pocket that is going to come out. So if you're an actress or actor, you can call me for that too as well.
I love you.
I love you
you know, I'm really that you and I, we talk so often. Not just pull me off the rafters,
Right.
but we talk about a lot of the projects which we're getting ready to move forward on, and I'm just blessed by our relationship, and because a lot of times, and the reason I do it publicly is because I like people to know, like, this is my girl, and a lot of times, you know, it doesn't go acknowledged, and you know, and I don't want people to be like, you know, you didn't tell her, but I'm always telling people how much I care and respect the work that they do, and I do respect and love this lady. Let them know how they can reach you again.
urbanbuzzmag.com or 914-222-3342.
This is my queen, Miss Nigeria Anderson, Urban Buzz Magazine. Please follow her on social media. Reach out to her. Follow her work. Her work is really, really excellent, and you know, her truth is in her work. So definitely follow it. Family, as always, you know, definitely continue to tune in every second Sunday on Vox Wave, where we just talking about all the work that's going on in the community, the work that people are doing, and putting people in touch, you know, creating great partnerships. Now, also, you can catch Unheard Voices on WOLB, sorry, Ron, but I got to let people know, WOLB Baltimore, 1010 every Friday at 2 p.m. Because we got to cover every aspect. People need to know that there's a way where you are not alone, and we're going to be your voice.
That's right.
Ellen Foundation's got a lot of things coming up. As a matter of fact, on Saturday, October 20th, we're doing a book signing with Tracy Palmer. Her story is phenomenal. She was a domestic violence survivor, she went through cancer, remission, and now her book, she's on the tour, and I'm honored to be doing a book signing for her at Shops at Iverson's from 5 to 7. And November 3rd, come on out. We are doing another STEAM Youth Empowerment Conference. The other one in June was so big, people were like, wait a minute, you're not going to do a second one, for the beginning of the year. So definitely come out to that. Ellen Foundation is, we're going to be giving out 2 scholarships. We're going to do a little raffle there. And we have DJ 5 Star, who is going to headline the event, this guy's amazing. He uses his turntable to teach people the importance of STEAM, which is great. And then we have a photographer that's coming out, Q-Law, and we have a dancer, which I'm excited. I've seen this young man do some work, Daquan, who's going to come out and do some dancing for us. So continue to follow Ellen Foundation, www.theellenfoundation.org. Follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Ellen Foundation 1. And you know what? And you can call me. I'll pull you off the rafters. 240-284-6825. I love you, family. Thank you so much for continuing to follow the work. And we got something great coming up soon. I'm sorry, I keep poking you like that.
It's all right. Only you. Right.
I was like, wait a minute, that one was kind of hard.
I was flexing my muscle.
I know, you're like, yeah. Have a great week. Thank you for allowing Ellen Foundation to be the start of your week. And again, God bless you. Love you, family. Tune in soon. Bye-bye.